So the last few days, Rob Pelinka has talked a lot about the direction in which they are looking in free agency and how they are actively trying to find a center. They've had conversations with Anthony Davis about him playing more at the power forward. It's very likely that he still starts at center, but they do want to get more looks, kind of go back to the 2020 year where they had multiple big men that did multiple things, and Anthony Davis was able to play the 4, but if they needed to in a pinch, he could slide over and play the 5. Now, Anthony Davis, we know for a fact that that's something that he would love. He has expressed openly that he would rather play the 4 than the 5, although he needs to be able to knock down shots. Not going to be able to play the 4 the way he shot the last few years. The reason it worked in 2020 was because the dude was lights out from 3, the 15-footers, all of it. He was just cooking when it came to just his shots. Also, Rob Pelinka expressed that the Lakers, they got Jackson Hayes for this purpose, but also if they get another big man, they want a more versatile big man. They want somebody that does something or some things that Jackson Hayes doesn't, right? They want somebody that kind of almost like a stretch 5 is what they're looking for. Because the way they're looking at it is Jackson Hayes kind of gives us that low post, athletic, pick and roll style big. You got Anthony Davis, who he can basically do everything, and they would like to come in and bring a guy that can provide some floor spacing and just give the Lakers different looks, right? So you can kind of mix and match with, say, Jackson Hayes and that other center, Anthony Davis and that other center, Anthony Davis and Jackson Hayes, kind of give them some nice flexibility as far as the roster goes. And this is where Christian Wood comes in. Reports are flooding in. Lots of people are talking about it, that Christian Wood is expected to go to the Lakers if, and I want to stress this, if all that he continues to get are vet minimum contracts. Supposedly, again, nothing is guaranteed until it actually happens, but the word is that if he continues to get vet minimum contracts, which currently that seems to be all that he's getting offered is 1 year vet minimum. We'll bring you in on a prove it deal. We'll bring you in on a flyer. And if you work out, we'll sign you long term. That he wants to go to the Lakers, that he's willing to go to the Lakers on that vet minimum deal. Now, it is very possible that once all the smoke clears and everything like that, that somebody offers him more money, in which case he would go and chase that money. Also, I imagine a role would play a part, right? Like, for example, we'll use Golden State. If Golden State's like, hey, come to us for a vet minimum and we'll start you, and the Lakers are like, hey, if you come to us, we're going to bring you off the bench, then he probably goes to the team that starts him, using the Warriors in this example. Now, Christian Wood, I think, would be great. He's the person that I've talked about I would make the exception for. I really want a veteran, and this is just me personally. Of course, I want to hear your thoughts down in the comments, but personally, I want a vet big. I'd like a more bigger body, right? A veteran that can come in and sort of bang with the Jokic's, the Embiids of the world. Here's the thing, though. If you have Jackson Hayes, you have Anthony Davis, and if you can go get Christian Wood on a vet minimum, forget all the other stuff, go get Christian Wood on a vet minimum, because talent trumps everything. So if you can get Christian Wood and his abilities to shoot and be a 3-level scorer, yes, his defense isn't great, but you're playing alongside Anthony Davis for one, and two, Darvin Ham has shown time and time again the ability to turn terrible defenders into at least serviceable ones, right? He doesn't have to be elite by any stretch, but he needs to at least, make the attempts. And also, if he's on a vet minimum deal, he's going to want to prove it, right? He knows that this is a prove it opportunity. Let me go. Let me play the role. Let me play what I need to play, do what I need to do, and let me go get this real contract after this year. So, again, Christian Wood coming to the Lakers is very likely, but there are still a lot of dominoes that need to go into the fold, right? Teams aren't in a rush. Everything's kind of at a standstill to see what happens with Damian Lillard, right? Zach LaVine is supposedly being shopped. Paul George, the Knicks could have went and traded for Paul George, but they said the asking price was too high. James Harden, what's going to happen with him, right? There's a lot of pieces that are still kind of up in the air. We still have a lot of time left in free agency. We're still in summer league. Some of these contracts and stuff can all of a sudden be used in trades. Some of these rookies that got their deals can be used in trades coming like July 31st. So it's one of those things where it could end up being a little while before we get confirmation on Christian Wood or not. That doesn't mean that it won't happen. I mean, it could happen while you're watching this video. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen next week. Who knows? And again, there's no guarantee. I want to stress that there's no guarantee because I've seen a lot of just word going around that Christian Wood is signing with the Lakers tomorrow or Christian Wood is coming to the Lakers. It's a lock. It's not a lock. The reports and the word is that Christian Wood will come to the Lakers if the only other options are vet minimums. And a lot of that is probably for the reasons that I stressed last video that I talked about Christian Wood. I said, if he goes to the Lakers, he will have that spotlight. And we have seen several players come to the Lakers on prove-it deals and end up getting lucrative quality contracts elsewhere. He knows if I go to the Lakers and I perform and I buy in and we win a championship or something like that, I'm going to get a payday, whether it's with the Lakers or it's with somebody else. Somebody is going to offer me more money than they would otherwise right now. So it makes sense for him to, hey, let me go to the Lakers. Not just that, but being a Vegas guy, right? He gets to be close to home. His family and friends and stuff can go watch games, all of that, right? So it's something that I think makes a lot of sense for Christian Wood. It's something that I absolutely could see happen, but he's going to chase the money if somebody offers him more money. And there are still teams that have vet minimum deals, right? So, or mid-level deals, taxpayer mid-level deals, stuff like that. So there are possibilities that other teams could go and get him on a just slightly larger deal. Now, depending on the circumstances, right? Like, we'll use Detroit, for example, or like the Spurs or something like that. If they offer him a taxpayer mid-level or mid-level exception or something like that, does he want to go to those teams, right? Or does he want to go to a team? Does he look at it as like, let me take a little less money and go to a team like the Lakers, and that way I can get a real deal? Like, yes, I could probably make an extra like $3 million this year or something like that, but I could take that pay cut and go to this team over here. And if I thrive and things are well, and I got Anthony Davis and LeBron James and stuff to make me look good, we got depth, we got talent, if I buy in and we win, then that's just going to raise my apron as far as potential for contracts. That could be a possibility as well. And, you know, how much does he want to go to a bad team? Now, also, how many of the teams that have those exceptions actually would be willing or want to sign Christian Wood? Like the Spurs, for example. Why would the Spurs want to sign Christian Wood, right? They got a bunch of young players and Victor Wembanyama. And yes, Christian Wood would be great, right? Like he makes some sense next to Victor, but with the locker room and the just character questions with Christian Wood, would Pop and the Spurs really want to do something like that? Probably not. And that's probably how a lot of the teams that have these contracts that could give him more money, most of them are probably looking at it the same way. All of those teams are young teams that are probably looking at it as like, do we really want to bring Christian Wood in? And he starts popping off and he starts, you know, being a disruption in the locker room with all of our young guys. I think that his perception is bad right now. But you go to a team like the Lakers, you play next to LeBron James and Anthony Davis. They probably start you at the 5 at that point, right? So this would be your front court, what you see on screen, next to Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell. Lakers have one of, if not the best, overall starting 5s in the league. And especially fit-wise, right? Because everybody would fit seamlessly, right? Like, I mean, you can make an argument, the Phoenix Suns, because, you know, they have their big 4 or whatever, but how does that look? How does that fit? Stuff like that. You're talking D'Lo, Reeves, LeBron, Wood, and Anthony Davis. I mean, that's a really good starting 5, right? You got good versatility. You got basically all 5 guys can shoot the ball. You got good size. Your smallest players would be D'Lo and Reeves, both who are 6'5". Like, you got three guys on the court that shoot 38% from three or better. LeBron James can be streaky. Hopefully he's better than he was last year. And then Anthony Davis is your defensive monster, right? And you got some nice versatility. You got switchability. You got basically everything you need to win an NBA championship, right? So I think it makes a lot of sense it makes a world of sense for the Lakers. And I think it makes a world of sense for Christian Wood. And I said this last time, I actually think Christian Wood needs the Lakers more than the Lakers need Christian Wood. Like, genuinely. I really do. I think that Christian Wood, and I'm sure his agent is probably even telling him, like, look, dude, like, go to the Lakers. All you're getting are vet minimum deals. So basically that means you just pick your spot, go to the Lakers, buy in, play your role, do what they ask from you, don't cause problems, don't cause headaches, don't do anything silly. You're going to be really good there. They're going to be really good. The fan base, if you play well, is going to embrace you. You're going to get a payday, right? Especially if you win an NBA championship with the Lakers, you're going to get a payday, whether it's through the Lakers or it's somebody else. Go there, average your 17-6 or whatever, and go win a championship, or at least put yourself in a position to win a championship. And there you go, right? And it's not like the two places he was at were really contending for championships. I mean, Dallas, we saw how that ended. And then Houston, they were doing everything they could to tank. And that was just a mess and a disaster. So, how much, as far as Christian Wood goes, how much of it was just environment and culture as opposed to, like, just him? I mean, obviously, he has problems too. He's not without fault. But winning solves everything. Culture, environment, things like that all solve everything. I mean, look at guys like, and I'm not comparing the two, but, like, even look at guys like Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler had this, like, ridiculous stigma of, he's not a team guy, he's selfish, he's an a-hole, he's this, he's that, and he just needed the right fit. Fit is very important in the NBA. You see a lot of guys over the years that were, like, really bad in one place or just couldn't buy in one place, and they go to the right destination. All of a sudden, it's like, wow, like, okay, this guy. I mean, even look at guys like Andrew Wiggins, right? Andrew Wiggins, he just didn't seem to work, didn't seem to fit, a lot of question marks, and then he goes to the Warriors, and it's just like perfect. It's like the icing on the cake. So I do think the Lakers make a lot of sense for Wood. I think Wood makes a lot of sense for the Lakers. I think it's a win-win. But those are my thoughts and opinions, and as always, I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think the Lakers get Wood? Do you think they don't? Again, I want to stress, it's only if the only offers he continues to get are vet minimum deals. If somebody else offers him more money, he's probably going to go chase the money. But if all it is vet minimums, then based on the reports, he's coming to the Lakers. So, again, let me know down in the comments.